Brought to you by Penguin.
Secrets and Lies by Sam Faiers. Read by Denise van Outen. I pressed send, and that was it. One simple text and it was over. There were no tears. In fact, I felt weirdly numb and exhausted. I'd finally had enough, and I knew it had to be done, for the sake of my sanity and health, if nothing else. Me and Joey, the cute Essex couple, were through for good. When we got back together for the final time after my Crohn's was diagnosed, there was no doubt I hoped it would end in marriage and children. I truly thought we had both grown up enough to have the happy ever after. But here I was, ending the fairy tale via text message. I was so tired of pretending that this relationship had legs, and it felt good to finally be taking charge of the situation. I felt strong. I tried to call him, but he didn't answer. That wasn't unusual. He quite often did that. At this time we were barely speaking, let alone seeing each other. So when he didn't pick up, I sent him a text. Then when he didn't answer that, I sent him an email, as I didn't want there to be any doubt that I was serious about us being over. I did this first thing in the morning, and it took him all day to respond. When he finally did decide to acknowledge it, he called the house phone, which I then ignored. I needed to stay focused. I knew he had read my message and that if we spoke now, we would just cry. I didn't want to answer and then change my mind and go back around in circles again and again. We would go back to square one again. This was it. For once, there was no huge Towie-type screaming match with cameras and lights, and for that, I was glad. We had spent most of our on-off 4-year relationship like that, trying to have real feelings in a staged and set-up situation, where the producer's wishes for a scandal or a headline-worthy meltdown came before ours. So now that it was just me in charge of my life was a relief. I was done with Joey Essex. I was sick of all the fights, and truth be told, I just didn't know who Joey was anymore. I didn't want to keep trying to find out, as I wasn't sure I'd like what I found. Our love for each other when we were together was never in question, and there was always such powerful chemistry. The trouble was the non-stop rows, and the fact that I never knew which Joey I was going to get. He lost his mum at a young age and suffered hugely from not having her around. My mum is my world, so I can't imagine what it must be like to not have her there to hug you and tell you it will be okay. He needed someone to tell him straight when he was messing up, and he didn't have those people around him. His manager, Dave Reed, and his family, Chloe Sims, Frankie Essex. They aren't tough or direct with him. He is like Peter Pan, frozen in time and unable to handle anything bad or real, and that included the reality of us. Every couple rows, that's life. But with Joey, it was always the end of the world, and he could never keep anything private. It was bad enough sharing our ups and downs with thousands of viewers, but that wasn't enough for him. He had to tell his whole family every time we so much as disagreed. Every row was twisted to make me look like the bad one. The truth is that he gave as good as he got. He played games and messed with my head all the time, but Joey has this need to be loved and always be in the right. This need is so deep-rooted that it stops him being honest with himself about anything. Don't get me wrong, I am no saint. I am fiery and a party girl, but, at heart, I'm all about my family. They come first, always. And when I have a boyfriend, he is part of that too. I work hard, play hard, but I love and respect hard too. And Joey knew that. I had always accepted Joey for what he was, but he changed. He went from lovable Joey, who used to get a bit tipsy and silly, who used to knock on my mum's door at 3 a.m. after a PA, public appearance, declaring his love for everyone and making us all laugh. He went from that to a Joey I didn't recognise. The guy who towards the end thought his phone was being bugged, that people were out to get him and dig him out.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?